Hidden Gems of DFW is a video podcast to help marketing professionals as well as newbies learn the art of marketing and finding the treasures that help a small business grow. This podcast will be filled with gems and treasures in the DFW area from some of the best guests in the business. And even if you are not in the DFW area, these treasures will work for you. And now get ready for the Hidden Gems of DFW podcast with Chris O'Connor. Hi everyone, I am Chris O'Connor, your host of Hidden Gems of DFW video podcast, and we are here in the studio today. I am really excited to share who our guest is. And he's been a longtime friend, a longtime networker, and he's so valuable in what he has to offer everybody. And I hope that you've got your pen and paper ready because he's going to have some great ideas for you. His name is Jeff Klein. He is a speaker and a mentor and a very good friend of mine. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Chris. Glad to be here.
I am so excited to have you here today.
I'm thrilled.
Talk about speaking, and we go way back 2007, the beginning of Speaker Co-op, and helping you with the meetings and gathering people and getting speaking engagements. It was so much fun.
That's right.
Before we dive into all that, tell me a little bit about you. Let our listeners and watchers know a little more about you.
Sure. Well, I came out of college. I'd had a theater degree from UTD, of all places, and I was in the film business here in Dallas for 15 or so years. Behind the scenes, I was worked my way up to prop master and art director. So did a whole lot of TV commercials, a whole lot of industrial videos, only a couple things that people heard of, like Born on the 4th of July. Yeah, which one do you remember?
I'm not going to say it. You just keep talking.
Okay. JFK, probably Wishbone is what you're thinking of. Yeah, I was a charter crew member on the Wishbone TV show, Wishbone the Dog, and that was a lot of fun. I sort of tried to exit the film business, but wound up working for the Texas Film Association, which was a career I didn't know existed, association management, and spent some time in advertising, and wound up starting my own ad agency in 2001. A couple years into that, I got involved with an organization called CEO Space, where they were teaching the elevator pitch every Friday at a lunch. And I was learning business networking and learning the elevator pitch through them, and I kind of clicked with the education. And somebody said, "Hey, Jeff, would you come do that thing you do on Fridays at our meeting?" And I went, "Let me check." And I made sure it was okay. Went and did this at their meeting, and somebody else said, "Hey, would you come do this at our meeting?" And I knew I was helping promote CEO Space, and I was helping promote my business because business networking is the most basic form of advertising.
Right.
So through that, I discovered there was this thing that we call business speaking, where people speak to promote their businesses. And right around then, 2005, 2004, 2005, that's when I met Jeff Crilly, because he was also speaking to sell his book. And as a matter of fact, a friend through other channels, asked me to sponsor the Architects Association lunch, where Jeff was the keynote speaker. And I did 5 minutes on my thing. Jeff did 20. And we were speaking after the meeting. And we wound up having coffee later in the year at 2005. And there were five or six of us there. And you actually know all the names if I were to name all the folks. But they were all speaking for different things. A couple wanted to be professional speakers. A couple just wanted to promote their businesses. One lady wanted to build her direct sales, is what they call it now. Multi-level marketing is what they used to call it, her team. And through speaking, and she's still doing that. And Jeff was selling his book, and I said, "Hey, why don't we start a lunch?" And everybody said, "Great idea, Jeff. Why don't you start a lunch? And we'll support you." And of course, as you know, that's how where great ideas go to die. Right. Usually.
Yeah, unless you implement.
But
yes.
This time I went ahead and I took on the main responsibility. And as you know, the truth is it wouldn't have happened without those other folks actually doing the support. They really did support. They showed up. They helped invite people. And in January 2006, we had our first speaker co-op lunch, and 50 people showed up. Holy cow! We knew we had something.
You absolutely had something, because that's really where I met you, was at a networking event, and you invited me, or Jeff, I don't know, one of the two of you.
One of us,
invited me, and then I was hooked, and I just jumped right in, and I was amazed at how many people showed up for the meetings. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We had some great speakers, and we got some really good knowledge, learning. It was hugely beneficial.
Right, and then I started speaking more, and I got more serious about speaking. And again, I tell people, Chris, that my career since 2000 is a series of fortunate accidents. And so, because around the same time, I've joined the National Speakers Association as a vendor, because I did videos and websites, and speakers need videos and websites to promote their business. But unlike some of the other vendors, I stayed in the meetings during the education. So I was learning about being a professional speaker, and I was doing these 30-second commercial talks. And, everything kind of clicked and converged, and I created a product. I created my CD on the 30-second elevator pitch, and people said, "Hey, Jeff, will you come?" Before I created the CD, people said, "Hey, 3 of us want to pay you to will you come do a workshop?" And I was like, another way to get paid? Okay, I can do that, right? And I also started teaching people what I was learning in NSA at the Speakers Association. So, and the other thing that happened was when we started the co-op, we had 2 people do a 15-minute spotlight. And we found out when somebody read from their book of poetry, that the people coming to the meetings wanted value. They didn't just want they didn't just want each other's spotlights. They wanted to learn something. And so we started asking people to be more intentional with their content. And we started being more intentional with who we asked to speak. And so we started curating the content more and asking people to tweak their talks so they were relevant to speaking for business. And over those 4 years, so in 2007, I set a goal to speak once a week, which I did. And then 2008, I set a goal to speak twice a week. And I did that again in 2009. So 250 talks in 3 years. Now, the only people who do more than that are the professional seminar trainers and Jeff Crilly.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation, right? And if you want Jeff's story, it's out there. You can listen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I learned how to get results. And in 2010, I folded up the ad agency and rolled Speaker Co-op out as my business, and went and registered the DBA and created a membership model. So we have 3 membership levels, and we have a resource member level for vendors, and have been teaching and became a speaker mentor pretty much since then. And in 2010, of course, we also launched the Houston chapter.
Yes,
so
I
we had
that.
2 cities, and we did that for 6 years. I did 2 cities a month, and that was a lot of fun and a lot of miles on my butt in the car.
I bet.
We had a lot of help from some folks.
But the people that you met, it's almost like, when you get a bunch of speakers together, they love hanging out together, and they become a family because they learn so much from each other, because they feel comfortable, because you've been there, done that, and how did you handle this situation, and how did you do this, and what would you recommend? Because I know that when I first started speaking, and a lot of people do, you want to cram everything in, right?
Right.
You want to cram everything in. And, I learned early on that you got to take bite-sized pieces, because if you cram everything in, you're going to overwhelm people.
Well, and you're not doing yourself any favors. That's a big part of what I teach now, is I help people, coaches and other experts,
Yeah.
segment their talks, chunk things down into 8 to 10 minute chunks. So that instead of, if you've got the 7 keys to leadership success, don't cram 7 keys into a 20-minute talk. Teach 2 of them.
Yeah. Leave them hanging. Come back for more.
Well, it's not just that.
I know.
Yeah, but it works out that way, because then not only do you do the two tips better, then you can sell all 7 in a CD or an MP3 nowadays, obviously.
Right.
Or a video or a webinar, or it's actually a webinar. Right. So you got the CD, you've got the webinar. Right. You can do masterminds, and you can do all kinds of products.
Classes online. I mean, it's just unlimited what you can do.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we're going to take a little bit of break. And after we come back, we're going to hear 2 or 3 tips. You kind of just heard one. I don't know if you heard it, but I did. But he's going to give us 2 or 3 tips that you can implement in your business today to become the best speaker you can be. And why would you want to do that? Because speaking gives you authority. And when you have authority, people are going to come to you, and you're going to be the expert. And don't you want to be the expert? We'll see you soon.
Jeff Klein has been telling the world what other people do for over 30 years. Following a successful career in advertising, marketing, and production, Jeff has been a sought-after public speaker since 2004. He has enjoyed speaking over 600 times and reaching tens of thousands of professionals across North America. Jeff helps his clients turn the right prospects into loyal customers, keep them happy, and tell their friends to become customers too. To learn more, visit Jeff Klein's page at speakercoop.com, part of the Klein Communications Network.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Chris O'Connor, your host of Hidden Gems of DFW video podcast here in the Colony at the Real News Studios. And we have Jeff Klein here today, speaker and mentor and good friend of mine for many, many years. And we're going to talk about 2 or 3 tips that he can give to help you promote your business through speaking. So, Jeff, what's your first tip for us?
Well, let's repeat the one we gave earlier and remind people that don't turn on a fire hose when you're speaking, when you're sharing information with folks. This includes, if you're doing your 10 or 15 minute spotlight at your networking group, just give high level but go deep on a couple of things. So break up your content into 3, 5, 7 tips, whether it's keys or principles or waypoints, whatever you want to call them. And the marketing and education people tell us it should be an odd number. Don't ask me why, I don't have an answer. I just know odd number is the answer. And
it's the same way in decorating. It doesn't matter. It's 1, 3, 5, or 7, 9, 11, whatever.
Yep, exactly. So
because it looks better in the decorating world, right? So it's
something about how our brains work.
It's balanced when you've got 1, 3, 5, even though even numbers are more balanced, right? But
whatever. Yeah. So I don't question the why on that one. It's just take their word for it. It works anyway. So, but create 8 to 10 minute chunks. So then you have a 10 minute, a 20 minute, a 30 minute, a 40 minute, etc. for your talk. And then you get to go deep on those. When you have 20 minutes, which if you're doing the rubber chicken circuit, if you're doing the Rotary and the Chamber and the Association, usually you either have 20 minutes or 40 minutes. So then you can do your 2 things or your 4 things. Always don't, I don't care what anybody else says, always have a worksheet. You remember why you have a worksheet, the main reason?
Because when people write things down, they remember it.
Yeah, and they keep it. And the worksheet has your contact information on it.
Hopefully,
yeah,
I've seen many contact sheets out there that have nothing other than the outline. And I'm like, why don't you have your name on here? Why don't you have your phone number here? And why don't you have this on there, right?
And again, this is for speaking, but it also includes doing your networking spotlight, right? Have your 5 things and have your contact information. Even if you're only going to talk about 2, have all 5 on the worksheet. So people have the names of all 5, even if they don't have details.
Right, right.
Yeah,
And
so-
you can kind of talk people, say, hey, we really only have time. I'm giving you all 5, but we only have time to really dive deep into 2. I don't want to overwhelm you with all 5, so let's get going on the 2.
Well, I'm going to actually contradict you.
Good.
Because we don't want to. The worst thing you can do is say, this is a 2-hour class and I only have 20 minutes.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, we don't want to make people sound like we're shortchanging them.
No, you don't ever want to.
We want to say, today
sense.
we're going to focus on
See, I need to
these
practice
2
again.
things. Well, that's okay. But because the other thing you do when you're speaking to a group is you speak to somebody the person who booked you before the meeting, and you decide which 2 things you're going to talk about.
Smart.
And so you
Smart. Okay, say that
Yeah.
again. Say that again.
you
All right,
visit
listen.
with the planner of the group
Yeah.
beforehand, and then you decide based on your conversation which of the 2 things to talk about. You don't say, I've got these 5 things, which 2 should I talk about?
Right.
You talk to him, you ask him some questions about the people, and you decide based on your information and that what you gather from him, which 2 things would benefit them the most, and which would be most likely to turn some of them into customers.
Nice.
Because your goal for speaking is to turn people into customers.
Exactly.
Now you're there to give value. Value first. And the other thing is give away your best stuff.
Yes. I know that's a thing that people have
Fear.
so much fear over. And okay, I'll give you an instance. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's funny because it happened this morning. I have a room with 2 other people on Clubhouse, and we talk about Google Business Profile, and we answer questions. We have guests come on and this and that. And one of the people that is in our room happens to be a notary.
Okay.
He's taken everything he's learned from us and turned it into his own class, which we're in the process of making our own class as well. And so I got a text message, oh my gosh, see what this person is doing, blah, 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 and freaking out like, oh, we need to cut them off and we need to do this and we need to do that. And I politely sent back a very nice message like, this happens all the time. Look at the big brands. They steal from each other all the time.
Yep.
They just do it better or in their style, right? And if you do that, then you turn that whole group off, and then we've got the bad name. So you don't do that. I have...
Well, and he's only trying to get people to hire him as a notary. He's not trying to get people to hire him to do the other stuff.
Exactly.
So he's not taking any business away.
No, he's not.
And if he's smart, he's mentioning you guys along the way.
Well, he's not, but
Well,
it's going to happen. I mean, and like I said, I was in the garage door business for 13 years. And I want to say there was one company in specific, but many companies copied everything I did.
because you were
Everything.
successful.
Yeah.
But you were still more successful than them. And you still gave better customer service. I know because I was a customer. You still gave better customer service from them. And you still had better, people still had better experiences with your people.
Right.
Than because you were still training the people,
Right.
So
the lesson in this, don't be fearful of giving it away because you're still going to find your clients, your customers, your patients, whatever it is that you do or deal with, whatever you call them, they're still going to come to you. I promise. There's billions of people in this world that need your help. You just need a small few. And so let them take it. Let them run.
Well, and
you
guess
do your
what?
own
Yeah.
thing.
No matter what you do, no matter what you're an expert at, somebody's giving away for free on YouTube right now. And the people who are going to hire you are the ones you resonate with anyway. You don't want people to hire you that won't listen and hear and succeed with what you teach them.
Right.
You can't help everybody, nor should you want to.
No. That's a hard lesson for a lot of newer business owners to learn.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an easy one to get sucked into that you want to be everybody's, right? And you're not everybody's. You have to, yes, I know, think big, but you're not everybody's. And who is your ideal client that you can
Yeah.
speak to, right? And, it just will make your life a whole lot easier, and you won't be banging your head against the wall saying,
Yeah.
why isn't this working? And you've definitely got to narrow it down. Those are some great tips.
Thanks.
I love those tips. You got another one sneaking in there?
Well, I'm still teaching the elevator pitch. People still need it.
Oh my gosh, yes. Absolutely.
Here's the big
Here's
elevator
the one thing,
pitch.
Here's the one thing I learned from you,
Yeah.
okay, on the elevator pitch. The biggest key is everybody starts out, hey, I'm Chris O'Connor with Chris O'Connor Marketing Gems and blah, 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 blah. And I'm done, right? That's how everybody does it. What I learned from you is, hey, blah, 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 Chris O'Connor with Chris O'Connor Marketing Gems. It was the last thing, my name of my business, that I said, because it's what people remember the most. I hope you heard that. Say it again, Jeff.
Second to last.
Okay.
Don't start with your name. Start with your story.
Yep.
Say your name second to last. The last thing you say is how people can give you that referral.
Yeah.
Call to action. The other big tip is ask for one thing per commercial. One partner. Not yet.
So when you say one thing, that one thing could be I'm looking to connect with a person in a certain business. That could be connecting with.
The best thing is a referral partner. Or a potential referral partner. You know, the best thing is somebody else who is meeting your prospects every day. But if you want to ask for a client, then describe them demographically, not based on what they feel. Describe them, somebody with 2 kids, somebody with a pool, somebody with who's been married 50 years, whatever it is, an empty nester, something, how they look from the outside.
Right, right. Those are some great tips. I hope you are taking notes, everyone, because there are some really good ones. So we are nearing the break here, and we have something special to talk about after the break. I know it's normally the treasure chest time, but my son's getting married on Sunday, and I forgot the treasure chest, so I am so sorry, but we will have something exciting to tell you and share with you about Jeff as soon as we come back. We'll see you soon. Are you using Google Business Profile for your business? If not, why not? In today's market, it should be one of the best marketing strategies a business owner can use. Even if you have a Google Business Profile set up and don't know what to do next, learn from the best Google Business Profile experts Chris O'Connor, Lenny Rowell, and Alicia Maples. Register today for our Google Business Profile Masterclass at gmbprofiletipsandtricks.com/master-class-sign-up. That's gmbprofiletipsandtricks.com/masterclass sign up. Let us help you crush your competition. Welcome back, everyone. I am Chris O'Connor, your host of Hidden Gems of DFW video podcast, and we have been chatting with Jeff today, and I am so excited that he's here. He's given us a lot of great tips and speaking and what you should do and what you should not do, and he's even taught you how to do a quick 30-second commercial. It's so worth it, and he's got a digital product for that. But before we get into some more things with Jeff, I just want to ask Jeff, what is his treasure? Normally I have a treasure chest that we open, but I did forget it today. I'm so sorry, but everybody's got a treasure. So Jeff, what's your treasure?
Well, I think my biggest treasure, it's right now, my favorite holiday just passed and all the kids were in. So my nieces and nephew are probably my biggest treasure. That was the whole reason we opened Houston as the second city for Speaker Co-op, so I could see my nieces every month. But the thing that turns me around when I'm, I'm feeling not sure I'm ready. I want to keep going, or I want to, get busy again, or what have you, is a quote from the famous Jewish sage Hillel. And the quote goes like this: "If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when?"
That's a great quote.
Thanks.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because it's really true. It's really true. Even Jeff gets discouraged, right?
Yep.
And even I get discouraged from time to time. And what is it that pulls you out of that misery, that anger, that frustration, that challenge, that whatever the situation may be, right?
Well, and, it gets frustrating sometimes. I've been accused of being selfish or egotistical, and the truth is, number one, you have to think about yourself. Number two, you have to think you're great,
Right.
right?
Right.
Neither one of those things are bad. It's not, there's the, it's ego, or is it confidence, right?
Right.
Some people say you're stubborn. Other people use a different word for that. That's a positive. I've lost the word now.
Right.
Perseverance or whatever,
Right.
And you have to stand up for yourself, and you have to remember that you can't help anybody if you can't pay your rent.
Right.
And that's always been something that, I had to deal with it for a while. And it goes back to the whole thing about giving away your best stuff, right? Some people find a hard time charging people for their services. And the truth is, if you don't charge for your services, you can't help enough people.
Right.
And you're doing them a disservice if you don't make them pay for your services so you can help other people.
Right. Absolutely. Well, it's what makes the world go around.
There is that.
And we don't want to be homeless living on the curb or anything.
Yeah.
So, you have to have the confidence and the courage to step up and be who you need to be. And unfortunately, in many lives, we have many self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And those self-limiting beliefs are what's holding you back. No one else. You can blame it on the economy. You can blame it on this. You can blame it on your friends, your husband, your spouse, your kids. You can blame it on whoever you want to.
Yeah.
But it really is all up to you and what you believe that you can do.
And if you're really stuck, get a coach. Don't hesitate. And if it's not coaching you need, if it's therapy, get a therapist.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
No.
Definitely not.
Very different.
Yeah. But get a
very
coach.
different.
And if you're going to get a coach that has a coach.
Yes. Absolutely. Because they'll keep you going. They definitely will. They'll pull you out of the mess. And, there's always, I used to be told a lot that that's not going to work. There's no solution, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, there's always a solution for everything that happens. Always.
Yep.
You may not like the solution, but there's always a solution and things can always be done. So I don't suck into that either.
Yeah. Well, and there's there's some people get stuck in prayer, and prayer is wonderful, but you still have to get off your butt and get out of the house.
Yeah.
The old story about I sent a boat, I sent a plane, I sent whatever.
Right.
I sent a helicopter.
Well, the head and the heart don't always work together. And
Yeah.
the head is normally what messes everybody up. But if you listen to your heart and go after it, you'll be very successful. Get out of your head.
Yeah.
Quit thinking about it too much. All right. So you have some exciting things, Jeff. So tell us some exciting things that are going on in your life and what you're doing.
Well, in January, we got our first international member at speakercoop.com.
Woohoo! That's awesome.
We spent most of COVID getting members all over America. And in January, we got our first Canadian member. And last month, or I guess this month, we got our first African member of Speaker Co-op. So
awesome.
We're not just international North America, we're international now. So speakercoop.com is your international resource for speakers of all kinds. So if you're not on the site and you want to be found, why not?
And it's minimal. It really is minimal.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to tell you, I use it all the time for finding speakers for places and things that I need to refer people to. They're looking for topics and people to speak. The first place I go is speakercoop.com.
Thanks.
And I search for whatever they're looking for, and then I send them the information, and or I give them speakercoop.com to go there and search themselves.
Yeah, we've got people organized by category and of their topics and by topic titles. You can still search by names and stuff, but our people aren't famous. Maybe some of them are famous in their own circles, but the point is that the planners who use the site they're looking for specific content.
Right. Absolutely. So what else you got going up? I want to hear this other
Well,
thing that
you
you're
know,
working on. I'm
ever since
excited for this.
ever since I talked about starting Speaker Co-op and I figured out and created this system to turn a 20-minute talk into clients and leads, I've been teaching it, but recently I launched a group version of that where I'm teaching, we're calling it 10 stages in 10 weeks. So we're doing 10 Zoom calls, and we guarantee you'll be on 10 stages in front of 10 audiences within the 10 weeks of the class. And that one is at tiny.cc/10 stages. I will not only teach you how to get on the stages, but I'll teach you how to get clients and leads when you're on the stages. So that one, and we guarantee 10 stages in the 10 weeks on the calendar. Or I'll stay with you until we get you 10 stages.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Wow. 10 stages, and it could be anywhere. It could be...
It's, virtual. We got lots of virtual stages. It can be in your own neighborhood. It could be podcasts that meet your needs for your audience. It's all about being in front of the audience you want to be in front of. And if you're a little flummoxed about what audience you want to be in front of, I'll help you figure that out too.
I hope you use me as a resource.
Okay.
I'm happy to have
Yeah.
DFW people come on and talk to them and share their story, because that's what I'm about, is small business. How can I help small business grow?
Consider it done.
This is one of the platforms that I use to be able to help small business, because so many helped me. You helped me along the way. Jeff Crilly helped me along the way. So many others helped me along the way. And you both still keep helping me. So I'm excited to be a part of that, and refer me some people. And I would love to have them on and do a podcast for them.
Sounds good.
So we've talked about a lot of things. Just going to review a few things. The first one that I remember is, when you're speaking, don't regurgitate everything that's in your head.
Yeah, no fire hose.
No, just if you have 5 tips, really dig into the 2, right? And then leave the rest for either of them to come to you, or business, or whatever, right? What was this next one?
I'm not sure if I can remember in order, but
doesn't
we
matter.
talked about give away your best stuff.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's so important, because I think that don't be afraid to do that. I promise, don't be afraid to do that. When you do that, you build value for you, and you build an expertise in people that, I know I used to do videos, and people used to come in the showroom all the time. You're on the video. Yeah. I learned a lot from you today. That's why I'm here, because now I know I can come get what I need to get and go do what I need to do. I gave away a lot.
Yeah, and they still weren't going to go install their own garage door.
No, they weren't. But to program a remote, sure. And then I'd walk them through it again in the showroom. So, there are valuable things in clients, customers, that you're going to pick up by giving away, your great information. And then we talked about, what did we talk about?
The elevator pitch a bit.
Yep, the 30-second commercial.
Don't start or end with your name.
And would you recommend to practice that 30-second commercial?
Oh yeah. The whole point is, if you're sitting there figuring out what you're going to say while everybody else is doing theirs, you're not giving referrals.
Right.
And if you're not giving referrals, you're less likely to get referrals.
You really need to practice it, and because we all try to cram too much in 30 seconds. You think you can talk a long time for 30 seconds. But when you're nervous and you're new at it, when you get up there in front of people, you are nervous, you're scared, and sometimes you don't know what's going to come out of your mouth, right? And then you're just kind of like blubbering, like that doesn't show confidence.
Decide ahead of time what you're going to do, who you're going to ask to meet. It's just like, well, and we didn't really talk about the fear of speaking, but the best way to overcome the fear of speaking is practice what you're going to say.
I do it in the mirror.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people
A lot of people do that. The phone, now with cell phones, you can do it into your phone and watch it. If you don't want to watch yourself, do it into your phone and have a friend watch it.
You know, I had some advice about being on videos many, probably 2007, you know, because I was like, no, I can't do that. I don't want, you know, I don't look good on camera, blah, blah. I hate my picture taken, blah, 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 right? And I had somebody, and I've said this before, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, but this person said to me, why? What are you afraid of? You and I are talking right now, and you look the same as you would on the camera. What difference does it make?
Nice.
And that has stuck in my head ever since then. And when people say that to me, I say that to them because it's true. All we're doing is having a conversation, right? Or all you're doing is having a conversation to the camera with somebody. It's no different than if somebody was standing in front of you.
Right. That's good stuff.
So that really has stuck with me forever. And I guess that's why I don't get nervous getting on here. I just love talking and chatting with people and learning about them. All right, so we've kind of reviewed things. How can people find you? How can they hook up with you and get in this class, this 10 stages, and, you know, or Speaker Co-op? How do we find you?
Well, speakercoop.com is the easiest way.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, my email is jeff@speakercoop.com, but there's all kinds of buttons to find me on the website.
Yeah, you could probably Google Jeff Klein.
The Jeff Klein speaker, you'll find me for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I mean, how fun is this to, you know, see an old friend and chat about speaking and get me excited about speaking again because I did a lot of it for a while and, you know, kind of got out of it. I guess a lot of people
It's time to start
do that.
again.
Yeah.
Especially with everybody coming back to meetings in person.
Yeah, and the enthusiasm out there, people are so excited to be back
see
in
each
person.
other and touch each other.
Yes.
But with that being said, Chris, we have so many opportunities with virtual speaking, even so. And a lot of hybrid events. People are doing events where they're combining virtual and in person. So I can put you on a stage in, you know, Seattle, Washington, or Scotland, or Australia. It's really, really fun, a great time now to be helping people find places to speak.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
And for so many of us, we don't have to, you know, geography doesn't dictate what we do, how we help them.
Right.
You can help somebody in Australia.
How nice is that?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I hope you guys learned a lot today. I did. It reminded me, refreshed me. He corrected me, which I'm thrilled at because, you know, I don't want to get bad information out there. But I just am so excited that Jeff was here today. And I want you to always remember that you are insanely valuable. And despite all the labels of doubt that you have about yourself and probably created by outside people and experiences, that you can do so much more. Let me help you. I can help you. I can help you grow your business. You just have to connect with me by phone or email. You can go to my YouTube channel. Let's get excited about your business again. And don't forget, like and subscribe to my channel. You might learn something new today. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and listening to Hidden Gems of DFW with Chris O'Connor. Don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to connect with me. I love hearing your successes.